A lot of men will say, well, I don't rape women and I don't abuse women. I don't sexually harass women. This isn't really my issue. I know that some guys have a problem and they need help or they need support or they need accountability, but I'm a good guy. It's not really my problem. And I have been encountering this, maybe you have as well, for like 40 years. Like in other words, men have been saying that forever. Okay, it's not. I'm a good guy. This isn't my issue. And I think we need to change the narrative. It's like, yes, it is your issue. It's all of our issues. And if guys say, you know what, I'm a good guy. It's not. I mean, this isn't my problem. I'm a good guy. We'll say, well, it's good that you yourself are not abusive, but it's not good enough. What are you doing in your role in your peer culture, for example, in your workplace with a group of friends or a group of mates? When you hear a sexist comment or a misogynist remark, do you say, hey, that's not cool, that's not really funny, or can we joke about something else? Or do you just let it go? Or, and if you're in a position of leadership in some kind, in the workplace, in the schools, in their education, in the sports culture, you might be a coach of a youth team, you might be a youth minister, whatever role you have that is in a position of some kind of formal leadership, are you actually bringing this subject up? Are you talking to the young men and the young women, the boys, the girls, and the others across the gender and sexual identity spectrum, not just in relationship to or in response to an incident, but rather just bringing it up? Are you like affirmative? What's the word I'm looking for? Proactively, calling people's attention to these matters. And most men aren't doing any of that. And it doesn't mean that they're not good people. It's just like they haven't thought about, okay, my role as a man in a society with this level of domestic violence and sexual assault, and this is true in my society too, obviously, but my role is not just to be a good person and don't harm others. It's also to use whatever platform of influence I have to help to shape the norms of my peer culture, my community, my society. And it's not fair to put the burden of that on this subject matter on women. It's like, why should they, in a multiracial, multi-ethnic sense, women have led these movements in Australia, in the United States, in the UK, everywhere. Women have been the ones who built the battered women's movements, what we used to call the battered women's movements, or the movements for, shelter movements, and the movements for accountability for abusers or the prevention programs that exist. Overwhelmingly, women are the ones responsible, with some support from some men, but as I always say, it's not enough men. I mean, there's a small number of us, but this has got to go way beyond the field, if you will, of people who work with court-mandated men, or people who work with a one-on-one, or people who work in law enforcement. All of these are pieces of the picture and of the puzzle, but it has to go well beyond that. So I think one message is we have to figure out how to take what we know and take it to a much broader audience of men or groups of men, and start saying, we need more of you, more of us, to be having these conversations. It can't just be limited to people who are professionally doing it from 9 to 5. That's a failed model.